Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. I don't know how many of you all have been to a black church before, but when you hear good evening, everybody, thank you. You start to cut the noise down a little bit. But we need a little bit more energy. I always start by saying my past, my history is the Martin Luther King Center. So I'm used to a lot of children, and I have a wife and 10 kids. So I need a little bit better response. You guys are just here for me all night. So good evening, everybody. It is an honor to be here tonight. They told me it was not about me, so I didn't have a long time to run the show or anything up here. So we're going to move right along as the program calls for. We're going to start with the Invocation by Katrina Sims of United People's Community Church, who is also the mother of our mayor, Mayor Daniel Mahoney.
Good evening. I want to start with Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 12. There is a time for everything, a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What do workers gain from their toil? I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there's nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live. So my challenge to you is to do good on this earth. I want to say thank you to the mayor of Jackson, my son Daniel. I'm so godly proud of you. How you persevere, how you work hard every day for this city. I thank you. And I thank each and every person on our council. I thank the police department. I thank the city of Jackson, because Jackson is a good place to stay and live. And so finally, I just want to ask the Lord to continue to cover this city, Father. Continue to be with each person, Lord. Continue to be with our families, Father God. Lord, give us wisdom and discernment, Lord, how to proceed, how you want our city to look, Lord. Help us to be the neighbor, Lord, that cares about each other, Father God. We thank you, Jesus. In Jesus' name, amen.
Wonderful, wonderful. At this time, we will have the national anthem sang by the daughter of our mayor, Mrs. Calvina Mahoney.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you all so much for the applause. In honor of this being my dad's last State of the City, I do have some words to say. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say that I appreciate every time I have been able to sing at the events for the city. It truly has shaped me into the singer that I am today. To my dad, I love you and I'm proud of you and everything you've accomplished as mayor. And I'm excited to see whatever direction you choose to go next. At your last county commissioner meeting, you had told everyone to hang on because our next destination was just up the street at City Hall. Now that your mission is complete, now that you have completed your mission here, I have no idea where you're going to take us next. But just know, I'm there wherever you choose to go. I love you, Daddy.
What a beautiful, beautiful voice. Now her dad was a rapper, but that voice comes from the mom's side. I want y'all to know that. I knew her grandmother, beautiful singer as well. It is amazing to see so many different risk takers and supporters from this community come out for the State of the City. State of the City is kind of a report card, if you will, where you get to come out and we get to see and present and be graded by the people that matter. But nowadays, it seems like almost anyone can run a city if you read Facebook. All you need is about 4 minutes and a Facebook page. I was at home talking to my daughter, and she had hit a pothole, and she's coming. She just couldn't understand it. Why do we have potholes? She said, Dad, why won't the city just fix everything? I was like, oh my God, it's an epiphany. Get this girl to City Hall, and let's talk to the city manager. Let's just fix everything. That sounds like it's really, really easy. But today you'll get to hear from the people that really spend their lives and spend their times trying to fix everything in the city. At this time, we'd like to honor the elected officials that are here with us publicly. If you would please stand, not the city council yet, we got you guys too. I know we had our 8th District Commissioner and pastor of 2nd Baptist Church, Pastor Darius Williams. We would ask our city commissioners, please stand one by one. Miss Arlene Robinson from Ward 1. Freddie Dancy from, where you from, Freddie? East Side, Ward 2. Okay. Mrs. Angelita Gunn, Ward 3. Connor Wood, Ward 4. Mrs. Shalonda Hunt, Ward 5. And Mr. Will Forgrave, Ward 6. Thank you to our city council for what we do. Everyone may have a seat. At this time, we have a very special gift from you. The city of Jackson is offering some things that you couldn't find here 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because they've dared to meet the needs of the community and start to do things different. One of the things that the city of Jackson wanted to do was to make sure we were getting an opportunity to hear from the young people in this community. And so they started a City of Jackson Youth Council. Today you will have the opportunity to hear from the chairman of the City of Jackson Youth Council, Mr. Tyshawn Gray.
You know, no one told me I was first. Well, anyways, good afternoon, everyone. As you now know, I am the chair of the City of Jackson Youth Council. I have been serving on the Youth Council for about 2 years now, and during my time on the council, I have seen great change, not just in our city, but within the individuals of our city. I'm proud to have been part of that change, and to some extent, have led it, alongside with my fellow council members. Together, we have hosted and participated in various events across the city. From our first youth forum, which aimed to better understand where youth were across the city, because I can't exactly represent everyone, I'm only myself. I have my experiences, but not theirs. To our open house, which we try to encourage other peers to join us on this council so that we all can make a difference. But what has stood out to me during my tenure is the shift in mindset, as I said before, within our community. I have watched the city as a whole grow more engaged. This room is probably twice as filled as last year, and it's really amazing to see. We have become more active and more resilient in speaking up for what matters to us. For example, the City of Jackson Youth Council has recently partnered with Henry Ford to start a little project of our own called One Can Can. This project, it was aimed at not only just recycling, but instead of just throwing money away, we could use it towards other projects we have in mind. Because just as we believe youth can make a difference, so can 10 cents, so can One Can. Outside of the Youth Council though, youth in Jackson are really doing amazing things. I have watched youth at my own high school stand up and speak for what they believe in with the anti-ICE walkout. Something like that I would have never thought would be possible. It has only been because of the progress we have made. However, although there has been progress, there's always room for improvement. Whether that means for us to think about creating a safer space for youth to explore and connect with each other, or continuing to build a community that invests in young people so that one day we would return and invest in it. And in spirit of building the future together, the Youth Council will be hosting our first Leadership Summit on April 11th. This summit will focus on empowering youth, giving them the skills to do what the kids at Jackson High did, or to join us one day, or even to start something of their own. So thank you all for supporting the youth in Jackson, and thank you for giving us a voice and shaping our future. Have a good night.
Amazing job, amazing job. We would also like Mrs. Nicoya Davis to please stand, our leader of our Youth Council, our advisor. Thank you. Thank you, Nicoya's our advisor. Now at this time, I told the mayor I was a little upset about my next thing I'm introducing here, because I have a regular duty to introduce the mayor, but I have been superseded tonight by his daughter, Sophia M. Mahoney, to introduce her dad, and Sophia is also a member of the Jackson City Youth Council. Please welcome to the stage, Mrs. Sophia M. Mahoney.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia M. Mahoney. Now, I know you're wondering, what does the M stand for today? And today it stands for My Dad's Last State of the City. Crazy, right? Anyways, enough of me. Here comes the legendary history-making one-in-a-million dad of mine, or as you guys know him, Mayor Daniel J. Mahoney.
Good evening. I decided to start tonight a little bit different. Was praying about what to say tonight, and so the Lord gave me a word of scripture to share to start. In Habakkuk 2:2 and 3, it says, "Then the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it." Now, my brother is the pastor, but I got to give you a little bit of background on exactly where that came from. So the setting, the prophet Habakkuk was waiting for God to answer his complaint about injustices and wicked people. He was crying out to God about violence, wickedness, and crumbling justice system in his own nation of Judah. Sound familiar? The command was that God tells him to document the prophecy, the vision, clearly, make it plain on tablets so that anyone who reads it can act on it. The purpose was to understand that the vision was for an appointed time, and writing down that vision ensures that it is not forgotten and can be easily understood. To me, what that told me is that though the fulfillment of things that we aspire to complete, get done, or work on may feel slow, the vision is trustworthy and it will come to pass. The biblical context of this is about trusting God's sovereignty and his timing during seasons of suffering and national crisis. So to the grand architect of the universe, I want to say thank you. Thank you, God, for allowing me this moment, for allowing me this opportunity to serve, for showing me grace and mercy and giving me guidance in times where I was completely lost in my life. In the name of Jesus, amen. What an honor it is to have been prayed for tonight at my final State of the City by the person who prayed for me when I did not even pray for myself. My mother. Thank you, Mom, for everything. For the pillar that you are to our family, to other individuals in the community, just the person that you are, literally makes me the person that I am, and I appreciate you. To have my daughter be able to come up and sing, she whispered to me in, what did you just say before we started? She said, "This is nepotism." Wait a minute, I just read this. I couldn't think of the word. She looked at the schedule and said, "Wait a minute, Daddy, this is nepotism. You got Nana praying, you got me singing, and you got Sophia introducing you. Somebody gonna say something about this." And then to be introduced by my daughter Sophia, it's a special feeling. It really truly is. As I thought about plotting out the night, I wanted to make sure that I gave them an opportunity to help and participate in tonight as well. To my wife, Simye, my everything, I want to say thank you for taking this journey called life with me, for being my best friend, my girlfriend, my lover, my wife, my everything. I appreciate you. To my daughters, hold on. We almost there. We almost to the finish line, girls. I love y'all. Cecilia, Isla, Sophia, Calvinia. I love you all. To my niece and nephew who are out there, Olivia. Where's Olivia at? I don't see. Oh, right there next to Nana, of course. It is time for me to step back. My dad and my uncle always had a saying when we was growing up. They would always say to us, "I had my fun. It's time for you to have yours." Girls, I have had my fun. It is time for me to spend all of my time pouring in to your successes, being there for when you get first place in gymnastics and at soccer and all the sports and all the things that you guys are doing, help see you off to college and all the things that you guys dream and aspire to do. I'm ecstatic about being able to spend my time, more time, being present for you, including my niece and my nephew. My father, who I'm sure is on Facebook listening right now, sent me and my siblings a video the other day. So I've got 3 siblings on my mother's side, and I've got 9 siblings on my father's side. So there's a bunch of us in this group text, okay? And he sent us a monologue of Denzel Washington from the movie Fences. Anybody seen that movie, Fences? Y'all know the monologue that I'm talking about if you've seen the movie, where his son asks him, "Why you don't like me?" And he said, you know, he went in on him. But it's funny because every time I've watched that, it reminds me of the way that my father raised us. He is not a man of many words, but he means what he says, and he says what he means. And Dad, I know you watching. I love you, and I appreciate you for the man that you helped shape me to be. I want to say thank you to my brothers and my sisters, and all of my cousins. My big brother is in the back of the room right now. Y'all got the reminder last year, but he's standing by the door for a reason. But I truly appreciate you guys, because no matter what happened over this 12 years of me being in public service, our time together, I'm always able to just be me. And I appreciate that. I don't have to turn it on when I'm around them, ever. In fact, if I do turn it on, they be like, "Cut it out." You have truly kept me grounded, and I appreciate it, and I love every single one of you guys for that. To the elected leaders, city council, to the city manager, staff, clergy, family, and friends in the room today, my name is Daniel J. Mahoney, and I know exactly what you're thinking right now. What does the J stand for today? Well, I'm glad you think about that, and I'm glad that you asked. Today, the J stands for just finishing what I started. Jackson first, Jackson's first black mayor. But my mama is in that second row, and she probably telling somebody right now that the J just stands for Jermaine. 1,554 days ago, I first walked into the office on the 14th floor of City Hall, and I carried in with me a medium-sized cardboard box filled with a few personal items, some family photos, some trinkets that I like to carry with me, some notes about what I thought I was going to do, what I wanted to do, and a whole lot of hope about what this moment might mean for our city. That same box is still sitting under my desk today, right now. Over the years, it has been a quiet reminder that leadership is not permanent, that the office of mayor belongs to the people, and that our time here is measured not by how long we hold the title, but what we choose to build together while we have it. Tonight, as I deliver my final State of the City address, that box reminds me that this moment is not about looking backwards with pride or forward with politics. It is about taking an honest look at who we have become as a city and who we must decide to be next. That box represents both the beginning of my journey, and it also represents the closing of a chapter. Many nights I sat in that office, sometimes into the very late hours of the night, sometimes in the very early mornings of the day. I've driven by myself through the streets of the city of Jackson, thinking about the weight of the responsibility that rests on my shoulders. The uncertainty of that first day in office, as I looked out the window, overlooking two of the most memorable places that I have experienced in my life: the Interfaith Homeless Shelter to the west, and the Franklin Homes to the south. This honor bestowed on me by the City of Jackson citizens is something else. To have faith in a young rapper from the south side of Jackson to serve in the highest office, what a complete privilege and honor it has been to be your mayor. So let's get into it. We have gone through a renaissance where Jackson has rediscovered its identity. We've gone through a reformation, reforming the way government thinks and works. And tonight, I stand firmly before you with confidence and report that the city of Jackson, the state of the city of Jackson, has reached a reckoning. Reckoning is not about blame. Reckoning is about clarity. And tonight is not about promises or politics. It's about an honest accounting of where we stand as a city. When I first accepted the call to run for public office, I was told a jewel of information that I have kept with me every single day since then. I was told that I do not need to know everything. I just need to want to do the right thing for people, and I need to be able to make decisions that I can sleep well with at night. Only thing that's kept me up recently was writing this. When I became mayor, I set a standard for myself, not for others, but for myself, a promise to myself to lead this city with fairness, honesty, to remain accessible. That's why everybody got my phone number. Be courageous, and to walk in transparency. Now, you can ask anybody around me. I have stood up for both friends and critics equally. We have had to make decisions as city council that were not and are not popular, but are necessary and have been necessary. And I can confidently say that I have led with transparency. If we're going to have a reckoning as a city, then we must be able to measure ourselves honestly. If my sister was in the room right now, she would say, "Big bro, you got to produce the receipts." And then when I bring the receipts out, she would say, "Period, Pooh," and then my baby niece would clock the T for her. Because reckoning, it requires proof. Several years ago, when we spoke about a renaissance in Jackson, we were talking about rediscovering who we were as a city, finding our confidence again, and remembering what made this community special. But rediscovery alone is not enough. A city must take that renewed energy and turn it into real change. That is where the work of reformation began. In the last few years, we have seen the largest housing expansion that this city has seen in decades. 52 homes sold through the 100 Homes Project. I don't think there's a side of the city that you can go on and not see a new home being built. That program is on track to be completed within the budget that we allotted and on time. That public investment has attracted multiple other private developers who have built and sold houses in this community. We have the Greenwood apartments now open and the Blackstone apartments open, and more to come. This has spurred redevelopment of other structures as well as on the way, and we are well on the way to restabilizing our neighborhoods across the entire city of Jackson. These efforts have restored dignity and created opportunity and sparked generational impact on the entire city of Jackson. MLK Drive is in the middle of a complete reconstruction. It's almost orange barrel season. They'll be popping out soon. Half is done, the other half will be done. The MLK Center will be getting a brand new park this summer. We've got new homes being built on the south side. We have injected nearly $1.5 million into businesses inside the MLK corridor. And we ain't done yet. We've acquired property and assembled property for the purpose of a grocery store and more. This is equity in action. Working to correct a long-standing imbalance in our city, lifting the part of our community that was historically intentionally divested in, And as you know, something that we continue to say, that rising tides lifts all boats. Now, in this part, we're going to deal in facts only. We'll get to feelings on this specific part in a minute. And that's regarding public safety. Because the fact is, overall crime in this city is down 14%. Absolutely. That applause belongs to the men and women in our law enforcement and our fire department, our first responders. That applause belongs to them. That credit belongs to them. There is nothing an elected official can do aside from support those men and women in law enforcement to make crime go down. Shots fired down 20%. Bullets to body down 18%. Part 1 crimes down 10%. Part 2 crimes down 23%. These facts are all available on the City of Jackson Police Department website. We've created community partnerships. We've seen success in our efforts surrounding reducing violence in our city through group violence intervention and the work that we've done through the Summit to Reduce Violence. Nevertheless, I am completely aware that data alone does not define safety. However, I think we owe another resounding applause to the women and the men who keep this city safe. Now that you've heard the facts, you have a responsibility, though. The next time you see a Facebook conversation going on about how bad it is, please refer them to the facts. In addition to that, we have implemented new programs like the Fix 36 to make it easier to do business in the City of Jackson, neighborhood programs like the Curb Appeal program to assist citizens with taking care of handiwork that needs to be done outside of their homes. We have innovated ways to support those in need, like when our treasurer came up with the idea for a street assessment assistance program. Or like when our councilwoman, Shalonda Hunt, and citizens came together to assist citizens who are disabled or elderly with getting their driveways and their sidewalks shoveled through the Caring Hearts Clearing Paths program. These efforts help remove barriers, improve responsiveness, and it shifts the culture inside of not only City Hall, but in the hearts and minds of citizens in this entire community. Now, I know they said it couldn't be done. It wouldn't be done. It's been tried already. It's not going to happen. But the Hayes Hotel has been sold. It's been funded for redevelopment, and the construction on the commercial space has already started and is set to be completed in November. This is the commercial space, set to be completed in November of this year. The city was able to complete phase 1 of the structure that you are in today. I keep calling it the Masonic, but we are also calling it the City Center. So not just this floor, but also the commercial kitchens are now in full operation, and we have several food business owners using the facility right now. And so Kelly and staff, who have all worked so hard to make sure that this place is up and running, please give them a round of applause also. We've created and passed an agreement to explore partnership with the Jackson Fire Department and the Summit Fire Department. Because when disaster strikes, nobody cares what the side of that truck says. They just want those individuals to be equipped to save lives, to come to the rescue of when there is an emergency. Jackson, we have accomplished a ton together. A ton. Renaissance gave us renewed belief in ourselves. Reformation changed the way our institutions work, but every community that grows eventually reaches a moment when it must honestly look at itself and confront what remains unfinished. That moment is reckoning. Youth violence still impacts our city. Families still suffer devastating losses. We still have to do the work on the perception of safety, because for most people, perception is reality. And trust in this community still has to be restored. Cycles of violence continue to loom over our city like a storm cloud. There's a truth about leadership that I think people don't talk about enough. Holding responsibility for a city, it doesn't shield you from pain that touches your own family. In July, when my niece Mia Sims was murdered, and I walked around trying to put the pieces together on what exactly happened. And I paced the hospital floor praying that the doctors would be able to save her life. Consoling my sister and my mother and my children, trying to convince them that everything would be okay. In that moment, I was not only the mayor of the city of Jackson. I was an uncle grieving with his family, a father and a husband, concerned with protecting his children and wife, a brother, angry and hurt with his sister and his brothers, a son crying in the bosom of a grieving mother. In that moment, I had to figure out how to carry my grief while still showing up to lead our city forward publicly. That moment should remind everybody that behind every headline, every statistic, every discussion about violence, there are real families, real people whose lives are forever changed. And our youth deserve more than that. They deserve more than cycles of loss. They deserve the opportunity for more to life. They deserve stability, and they deserve a community that refuses to accept violence as normal. So while crime statistics may fall on paper, which is true, two things can be true at the same time. Because numbers alone will never comfort a grieving mother. A moment like what I experienced is enough to make the biggest person in the world shrink. And for a moment, I almost did myself. You know, there's something that I rarely talk about at all, let alone talk about it in person, in public. But as I put together what I wanted to say, it just felt like this would be the right moment to share it. When I was young, I'm talking like 8, 9 years old, I started having this recurring dream over and over and over and over again. It stuck with me all the way into adulthood. Even just saying it right now, I can visualize that dream so well. I'd be riding in a car in the back seat, late at night, pitch black, surrounded by woods on both sides. And in the woods, just beyond the trees, there would be this dark figure running alongside the car that we could just never outpace. I couldn't see it clearly, but I could feel it clear as day. That dream terrified me. For years, I thought something was chasing me. Until recently, something changed. One night in that dream, I realized something that stopped me cold. The figure was not chasing me. It was me. I wasn't running from danger. Wasn't trying to outpace this thing chasing alongside the car. I was running from my own potential. Running from who I might become if I just stopped being afraid. And the truth is, cities can do the same thing. We can run from hard conversations. We can run from making bold decisions. We can run from responsibility of becoming something greater than what we are right now today. But at some point, whether you are a person or a city, you got to stop running. You got to turn and face who you're meant to become and step fully into it. And that's the reckoning that's before us tonight. Because if Jackson is going to reach its full potential, then we must stop shrinking from who we are capable of becoming. We must stop the conversations about how bad Jackson is, how terrible the changes are that are being made. We must stop when violence becomes normalized, when outrage replaces leadership, when suspicion replaces partnership, when fear stops bold ideas. Now, I've seen what happens when this city decides to stand tall. Firefighters running toward danger, not away from it. Our youth leaders stepping forward and stepping up. Businesses investing in Jackson. City staff feeling empowered to solve problems creatively. Speaking of our firefighters, I want to recognize them for their courage and their sacrifice. Now, I ain't gonna say no names or go into details about what happened, but I thought someone almost blew my house up who just recently got a driver's license. I ain't pointing no elbows either. But the way they responded and how quickly they got there, and that was nothing in comparison to the way that they have shown up for this community and put their lives at danger to save other individuals' lives. And as we have just recently seen, it does not always work out that they are able to. But the fact that they are willing to is more than commendable. Our youth council and youth leaders are literally the future of this city. Some of them getting ready to be the right now. Tyshawn, you got big things that are going to happen in your life, and I can just see it all over you. And I just can't wait until you get to where you're planning to go to see you become who you're going to become. We appreciate you. Have to say thank you to our city staff and leadership for their innovation and the dedication that they showed to our city. Our Chief of DEI, Commissioner Mr. John Willis. For his intentional work in equity. Intentional. John will make your business his business. He don't care what department it is, what floor it's on, where it's at. He gonna make your business his business. And I just really appreciate the way that he shows up. And I know he can't do the work that he does without the support that he gets from both Kat and Melissa. I want to shout you guys out as well. To our city manager, Jonathan. For empowering bold leadership inside of city government. There are some individuals who are leaders that would rather everyone else shrink around them so that they remain at the helm, and there are some leaders who understand that real power is only powerful when you decide to share it. But I know he can't do the work that he does, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I done made it to many meetings because of Lisa and her text to say, hey, Mayor, you got somebody at your office right now, they're here to meet you. And I'm like, Lisa, tell them I'm 5 minutes away. And to Shane and Kelly and Chief Simpson and all the individuals, everybody, all of our community partners, everybody who has taken on this shared responsibility, we truly owe you a thanks in this moment. I've had the opportunity to really have some full circle moments while serving in this office. As I sat and thought about all the things that I've experienced, this moment makes me recall the very first proclamation that I wrote. I received a letter from someone outside of the country who wrote to inform me that we had a living survivor of Pearl Harbor in the city of Jackson. And I did a little bit of research, and I decided to invite Mr. Herbert Elfring to my office to present him with a proclamation. Mr. Elfring was a World War II veteran, a Pearl Harbor survivor, and he was a community servant. This was a man who lived over a century, and that reminds me that service itself spans over generations. What's next is the question that I have gotten almost every single day. What you gonna do now, Mayor? What you planning? I know you got something up your sleeve. I don't got no answer for you right now. This ain't no announcement. But while God is still working out what is next for me in my spirit, I do want you to know that there's still time left on the clock. And so my focus right now is to continue running plays until the clock runs out. But Jackson, we do have a choice to make. On who we want to be moving forward. It's up to us to write the vision and make it plain. It's up to us. A reckoning is not just about what we've done, it's about what we choose to do next. Because the future of Jackson will not be decided by one mayor, by one administration, or one moment in time. It will be decided by the choices that we continue to make as a community. We got this housing momentum going. Neighborhood investments, the MLK corridor progress, equity work that's happening, public safety initiatives that need to be achieved. Progress that we have made thus far is real. These are not temporary projects. These are foundations. And foundations only matter if the work continues. So to the leaders who will carry this work forward, inside of City Hall and throughout this entire community, I offer you one simple challenge. Be bold. Do not retreat into comfort. Do not allow fear or criticism to slow progress, and do not fall back into the idea that things must be done as they always have been done, because doing things the same produces the same old results. Jackson has everything that it needs to become a model for cities across the entire state of Michigan. A resilient community, innovative businesses, young leaders who are ready to step forward, and residents who care deeply about the place that they call home. Jackson is capable of far more than we sometimes allow ourselves to believe. So before I close tonight, I want to ask something to everybody in this room. If you are a teacher who has stayed late helping a student succeed, if you are a firefighter who has run toward danger when others ran away, if you are a business owner who chooses to invest in Jackson when it would have been easier to go somewhere else, if you are a parent raising children in this city and believing in their future, you are one of the countless residents who quietly work every day to make this community stronger. Then tonight, the city's progress belongs to you. And I would like to ask for everyone here to join me in recognizing the people who make Jackson what it is and who are building what it will become. Again, Jackson's story has never been written by one office, one administration, or one leader. It has always been written by its people. And so tomorrow morning, when I walk back into the mayor's office, and that same box that has sat underneath my desk for the last almost 5 years, it'll begin to be filled again. Not with titles or accomplishments, but with memories of the people of this city, the conversations that we've had, the challenges that we faced together, the progress that we built together. That box will remind me that leadership is never about one person. It's about a community willing to believe. And my plan is to leave the office the same way I entered it, empty. Everything left on the field, yet still filled with hope for what Jackson can become, gratitude for the change and the chance to serve, and absolute confidence that the people of this city will continue to build a future that is even stronger than the one that we stand in tonight. Because reckoning is not an ending, it is a decision. And tonight, Jackson has decided that we will not shrink from who we are capable of becoming. Our story is still being written, and I've never been more confident that the best chapters of Jackson's future are still ahead of us. One of the most important parts of doing this state of the city is being able to honor individuals who work, serve, show up selflessly in this community. And I kind of went around and asked council if they would like to speak. And they all kind of was like, nah, you got it, Mr. Mayor. You say what you gonna say. But if you guys would like to join me to present the keys to the city to the individuals who we are gonna honor tonight, I think it would be great for you to join me on stage, if you will. If I might be able to just ask you guys to join me. as we get ready to present the keys to the city. I keep telling everybody, I normally do one key to the city. Mr. City Manager, please join us. I normally do like one, sometimes I've done two. I knew I was leaving this year, so I decided to make multiple keys to the city available to increase my chances that somebody might let me borrow one after December 1st. So keep that in mind. I got y'all's phone numbers. So the first individuals, and we made a slight change to it, but I wanted to present it the way I said it first because I think it's super important. But the change that was requested to me just shows even more why it's so important. So as I thought about the first person to give one to, the initial thought was, you know, Bart Howley and JTV and their family do so much for the city of Jackson. Every establishment, everywhere you go to, anywhere you go to, JTV will figure out a way to be able to show up. But if you've been on JTV, if you've been around JTV, you know the person that make the magic happen. Bart is on the TV screen, but Karen is in the background making sure that the magic happens. And so, yes. So I want to call up both Bart and Karen because Karen called City Hall and said, thanks for honoring me, but I ain't coming if you're not gonna honor my husband. I'm paraphrasing. But Bart and Karen Howley, please come up and accept the key to the city. We love you and appreciate you.
You weren't supposed to tell that part.
Did you guys want to say anything?
Bart's going to say something.
All right. Oh. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much to the mayor and the council and to the community. Thanks to all of you for being here tonight to honor all of us. It's an honor to be with all of these folks. And thank you very much.
Of course, I don't usually do this, but this means especially a lot at this time because we are celebrating 25 years of JTV now. And so thanks to all of you up here on this stage, everyone in this room, really every single person is part of JTV. Our mission was very simple from the beginning, to keep it positive and keep it local. And that's really been our mantra all the way along. And I have been one of the lucky ones that have the cell phone number for the mayor, and I plan to keep it. And just a little reminder, Mayor, you're supposed to be at JTV at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
That's great.
And I will text you in the morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Can we get a picture?
Sure.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
So much. We appreciate it. Whew. She ain't joking. She gonna text me to remind me. I'll be like, thank you so much. I'm 5 minutes away. The next individual, I think, probably feels so unnoticed by this community. Because we honor so many people for the way that they show up, the way that they serve others, and I think sometimes you can be doing the work, and you never do the work for recognition, but it is very motivating to be recognized, especially be recognized by your community for how you're showing up and giving back to your community. And so I wanted to make sure that this individual knows that she is being seen for the work that she is doing. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I had already made this decision to put her on the list, but this confirmed it for me. I was riding on my way out to the Jackson Crossing, in which I pass almost every time. Her nonprofit, Together We Can Make a Difference, and there was a family who must have gotten there a little early and pulled on the door, but they were heading back to their car. And Brenda Hughes ran out as they were on their way back to their car to get them. Hey, wait a minute, we must have been in the back. If you've been there and served, you know they prepare everything in the back room. And so she must have been in the back or something and came out and saw them leaving, but she ran out and grabbed them to bring them back in to make sure that they could get whatever it was that they were there and in need of. And so please, Miss Brenda Hughes, come up and join us and accept this key to the city for the way that you have shown up for this city.
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Christ, for giving me a second chance. I want to thank my mother for her struggles to make me the woman that I am today. My husband and my board members, they do a lot behind the scenes. This key is not just for me. It's for everyone that believed in me, everyone that had my back through the good and the bad. Thank you all for believing in me. Thank you.
So the next individual, I had the pleasure of serving on her board of directors, and the sheer wealth of knowledge that she has and the way that she operates and how diligent she is and the work that she does and how passionate about the work that she does is just exemplary of this community. And so when talking with the city manager and speaking with the vice mayor about who we should potentially give keys to the city to, and this name came up, it was a no-brainer to put this individual on the list. It really, truly was. And so if you have a loved one in community mental health, friend, family, or anyone, the person that goes to Lansing to fight, the person that goes to Washington, D.C. to fight for the rights of those individuals has retired. or is retiring. I don't know which one it is, but that's what I heard. And so it is truly an honor to be able to honor you. Tonight, Mary Beth Leonard, please come up and receive the key to the city.
What an honor. I did write a few things because I did want to say a few things and knew I'd be, people that know me know I'm emotional, so I'll try not to get too emotional, but I did retire about a month ago. I want to say thank you. Thank you to the Mayor, Mahoney, to the members of the City Council, and for all of you in this room. I'm deeply humbled by this recognition, and I'm very grateful to be recognized by a community that I have given my heart to, especially as it relates to those who are the most vulnerable in our communities. When I look at this key, I don't just see a symbol of honor that you're recognizing me. I see a reflection of a collection of work that is done in partnership with many of you in this room. As I recently retired and had a retirement event, one of the things that I shared with employees and the community is nobody is in a ship by themselves sailing alone. And in order to do the critical work for this community around mental health, substance use, and for serving the most vulnerable, it requires a partnership. And for that, I am extremely grateful for the many organizations in this community that have come to the table with Lifeways over the years to really advance how we provide behavioral health services, and that we do it in such a way that it is a partnership. And when I look at Jackson, I raised my children here. I worked here, I served here for 33 years. I'm very committed to this for this community and for what it stands for. This key signifies trust by many, and I accept it as a promise to continue the work of being a servant leader within the community. Thank you for this honor and for allowing me to be a part of Jackson's story. Thank you.
Y'all know the NAACP holds a special place in my heart. I tell everybody, it is literally what shaped and cut my teeth and prepared me for public office. And so I hold in high regard anyone who chooses to devote, dedicate, and spare some of their time to serve with the members and become a member of the NAACP, which is where I think I first met this individual. And she showed up, and then she kept showing up. And then she became an e-board member. And then she continued to show up. In other spaces, as I continue to grow in leadership, I continue to see her more and more and more. Now I think we are probably in at least 2 to 3 meetings a week at this point. And the way that she leads and grows other leaders in this community and gives and provides opportunity and makes bold choices and shows true equity in her decision making and the way that she leads her grant committees and other board members in making sure that they are making equitable choices that are not always agreeable to everybody is, again, an exemplary example of how to show up in a community. And so it is really an honor to be able to honor you, as many people as you show honor to and lift up in this community. Monica Mosier, please join us in receiving the key to the city.
I am smiling so big. Those words meant so much to me. Those of you who know me well and have worked for me know that our mantra has been, just keep showing up. And so standing here today, receiving the key, one of the keys to the city, is something I will never forget. I just wonder which door it opens. But this honor doesn't belong to me alone. It belongs to all of us who choose every single day to show up for the community that we love. Every one of you in this room, and I'm making eye contact with a lot of you. You love this community, and you keep showing up. Jackson is special, not because of any one person or any one organization, but because of the collective heart of the people who live here. It takes all of us. Neighbors, nonprofits like Jackson, Michigan Giving Back, businesses, schools, volunteers, and everyday citizens to build the kind of community where everyone can belong, contribute, and thrive. And the truth is, the real work happens very quietly in the small acts of kindness, the late night planning, the difficult conversations, and the shared belief that Jackson deserves our very best. I'm especially grateful for the work that I get to do through the Jackson Community Foundation. Every day, I am surrounded by the people who care deeply about this place, people who believe in collaboration, like the Jackson Collaborative Network, people who lift up each other, and who are committed to making long-term, meaningful changes for our community. Our work isn't about headlines or recognition, it's about partnerships, listening to our community, and ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to live full lives, and to help shape the future of Jackson. This key symbolizes something important, any one of us holds the answers, but that we hold them together. It reminds us that we are open, that we can open doors for one another when we invest in our neighbors and when we keep showing up even when the work is hard. We unlock the true potential of our city and even more broadly our county. So thank you, Mayor Mahoney and City Council, for trusting me and the Jackson Community Foundation to work alongside you and for believing that in what Jackson can be. It feels like Mayor Mahoney and I sat up and wrote our speeches together, but, and so many of you. I am honored and I am grateful, and I am excited for all of the doors we will continue to open together. And as we look ahead, I invite each of you to keep stepping forward and showing up. Stay engaged, lift your voice, support the organizations doing the work, and continue showing up for one another. There are so many opportunities, and some of you already know what's in your heart and the ways that you want to contribute to the growth of our community, because you're doing it. Some of you might not know yet, but you're on your way. And join a board. Board leadership on nonprofits is really important now more than ever. Join Drive Jackson, show up, and contribute to the Drive Jackson 20-year vision for our community. Show up anywhere in your school and for your neighbors, because when all of us take a part in building Jackson's future, there is no limit to what this community can achieve. Thank you.
So I'll keep the next one short because the individual is not here due to them being in Washington doing work on behalf of the organization that they belong to. But I wanted to make sure that we still lifted her name up and give her a round of applause tonight as we present the key to the city to Chrissy Siders from True Community. When Chrissy and I were talking, and she's like, yeah, we were talking just like about family stuff, and prior to that conversation, she's like, yeah, my daughter is like getting ready to go off to college. I was like, what? If you know Chrissy and you know how old she is, please tell me where she gets her water from, because I'm sure it's got to be the Fountain of Youth, because I did not believe she was old enough, one, to be running the True Community credit union, and two, let alone like old enough to have a daughter that's going to college. That is just crazy to me still. But the way she shows up and truly lives what their motto is, which is to create legacy-defining moments, is just amazing to me. And also her leadership around this community is also amazing. So I just wanted to make sure we honored her. I will be personally delivering her key to the city to her. You know how I feel about my mom. I value her opinion to the highest, and there's sometimes when I meet an individual and they know who my mom is and I share with them that I've met them, my mom will give me some insight. Sometimes she'll be like, yeah, watch that person. Not really, I'm just joking. She ain't said that about nobody, I promise. But she tells me the real though. And you know, sometimes that opens the opportunity for you to get to know someone a little bit better because they already know where you come from. And so this next individual is one of those people. And I've seen exactly what she said, which, you know, she said, Mike is a great guy. He is a very nice person. He's very genuine. And he's a very, very good guy. He's a good person. We've seen that. Mike Thompson has showed up to, I believe, almost every single MLK corridor meeting. He put other businesses before his, even though he had a need himself. Like we had to like twist his arm, Mike, please put an application in for some of this entrepreneur grant fund, because we thoroughly need the services that you provide at Segway, and we also want to pour into your establishment the way that you have provided jobs, provided services to the citizens, and the way your leadership has shown up and been present with us. And so we appreciate you, Mike Thompson, and would like you to please come up and accept this key to the city tonight.
All right, so I got a call from our front desk one day. It said the mayor's office is on the phone for you. And I said, uh-oh, wonder what that's about. And so Lisa gets on the phone and she says some words and I didn't hear them completely. He said, could you please repeat that? And she said, the mayor would like to give you a key to the city. And I said, oh my gosh, I am so honored, Mr. Mayor, that you did this. So then I heard who was also being honored, and saw the great group of people that were being honored, and I was immediately humbled to be a part of this great group. I have a couple of people that I would like to thank. My wife, who is here, and my daughter, who can't be here but I think is watching on stream right now. They have been a support to me throughout my life, and have been with me through, successes and challenges, and have been there every step of the way. I've had a lot of people who have mentored me throughout my life, and I asked a couple of them to be here tonight. One of them is Greg Gallagher, who I tried to learn everything I could possibly learn from him when I was an employee at Lifeways. And the other one is Bob Powell, who is a CEO that when I got the job as CEO at Segway, Bob called me up shortly afterwards and said, "Do you know what you're getting yourself into as a CEO?" And I'd be able to share with him the joys and the successes and the challenges and the heartbreaks of being a CEO and guiding an agency that does incredible work every single day, supporting and helping people who are vulnerable and need the help and need the support. And then also my board and employees at Segway. It's not, without you, there was no possibility that we could do the work that we could do and Segway could be as successful as it is. And finally, I'd like to thank the brilliance of my predecessor, Diane Reynolds, who purchased the old McCulloch School, and that became Segway. And as soon as we moved in there, I thought, wow, what a great place to be, what a great location. It's wonderful being a part of a community, and it's wonderful to be able to support that community and to continue to support that community going forward. So we are so honored, we are so blessed to be able to do that. And then finally, I'd just like to say, public mental health is facing a lot of challenges right now. Challenges from the federal government, the state government, and there's a ton of need for mental health services out there. And it's been an honor to be able to work next to people like Mary Beth and Ed. I have known both of them for a few decades now, and it's just been an honor to be able to address those challenges in partnership with all of them and with partnership with Lifeways as we go forward in the new leadership at Lifeways with Mary Beth's retirement and Cassie becoming the CEO. So thank you all very much. I very much appreciate this.
This next couple is personal. Not that any other ones weren't, but this next couple is very personal. Back when I was on my path to become a famous rapper, I was also embarking upon becoming the state of Michigan's largest promoter as well. And I called down to the Michigan Theater, and I said, I'd like to get a meeting set up because I want to host an event. And the person on the phone said, okay, come on down. I'll be here all week. And when I got there, instead of just sitting me down and hearing out my harebrained idea of how I was going to fill all 1,800 seats of the Michigan Theater, they first said, have you ever been around the entire theater? Let's take a walk right quick. And so we spent the first almost hour just walking through the theater. Now, if you've only seen the theater recently, that's a beautiful walk. This was at the time where if you slapped the seats hard enough, the dust particles of all the shows of history would come out of them. And if you crank the music up too loud, the crumbling ceiling may, in fact, fall down on you. And to see the transition that theater has made, I don't give a damn what happened with the board. The man deserves to be given his flowers. Talk about writing the vision and making it plain. When we walked through there, he said, we're going to get all of this redone. I don't know how we're going to do it just yet, but I believe in this community. I believe in preserving the history of this theater, and I believe we're going to make it happen. Now tell me about the show that you want to do. And I think we may have had all of 250 people at that show. But he did express to me how difficult it is to fill the Michigan Theater, and also commended me. And we went on to do multiple other shows. And so it is truly an honor to be able to honor someone who I've been able to witness their work from two different lenses, as I myself have also grown in leadership. And so please join me in welcoming to receive the key to the city, Steve Tucker.
Thank you. Wow. I did write some things down, and I told Monica to go slow because I didn't want my 35 minutes to seem so long. I want to thank you very much, Mr. Mayor Daniel Mahoney, City Manager Jonathan Green, and the entire City Council for making me a part of this. I really appreciate it. The honor is overwhelming. I came to Jackson in 1976 and knew this was my home. After 30 years of teaching literature and history in a high school, coaching and playing music around the entire county, I felt like the luckiest guy in the world. Then, that same joy was only magnified by my time at Jackson's gem, the Michigan Theater of Jackson. It's just right over there. It's a beauty. During my nearly 14-year tenure as the executive director, I met thousands of people. Many of them have become my friend. They all share common attributes that I found runs rampant throughout the city. They love Jackson, they love each other, and they work for a future that makes Jackson better for all. In 2023, the theater embarked on a capital campaign designed to restore the theater to its original grandeur. Under the leadership of campaign chair Philip Curtis, we met our financial goals and embarked on the massive project. We finished that project under budget and in time. Pretty amazing. To all the local foundations, large and small businesses, to the thousands of individuals that gave their time and treasure, I thank you and know that you and only you could have made it happen. To the 200 plus volunteers who last year amassed over 4,000 volunteer hours, I know because Stephen keeps track of every hour, over 4,000 volunteer hours in 311 events. To those volunteers, the board volunteers, board members, and to the volunteers that served during an event. Without you, we couldn't have done it. We did a wonderful thing. To Paul Coughlin, thank you for your long hours, incredible determination, your vast hunger for knowledge that made the seemingly impossible happen. Paul would work so hard, and pull stuff out that I would go like, oh, he's right back there. To my fellow honor recipients, thank you all for that you do for Jackson. It's a big deal. To my wife, Linda, thank you for your patience and your undying support. To my two brothers who flew in here from, where'd you guys fly in from? Okay. They flew in from Chelsea and Stockbridge, and Jim's wife, Marnie, thank you for coming. To my son, Stephen, thank you for working so hard in creating a popcorn dynasty. His popcorn currently leads the world in taste and presentation. I close with a line of one of my favorite metaphysical poets. I know they're not really popular now, but a few lines by John Donne. I've taken the liberties of changing it so that it covers all of us. No person is an island entire of itself. Every person is a piece of the city, a part of the main. We need you. Thank you very much.
My daughter reminded me just a second ago, you talked for a whole hour. This next individual has been a quiet champion in my corner since day one. Someone who I know I can count on to call. I don't have to call every single day. I don't have to talk to them every single month. But when I call them, if I ask them something, they're going to give me, one, their full attention, two, their honest opinion and feedback on whatever it is, and then they're going to ask, how can I help get done whatever you need to get done? This is an individual who has shown up in the community mental health space for not just the city of Jackson, not just the state of Michigan, but is known nationally in the mental health space, has served in leadership nationally and been recognized nationally in the mental health space, but has gone quietly overlooked right here. We've had multiple conversations about that, and I've worked very hard in other spaces to try to get him recognized. Sometimes you just have to do it yourself. And I know that this comes at a time where his family is still in deep grief for something that a parent should never have to experience, and putting to rest their own child. Yet they still continue to show up. They still continue to serve. Still continue to ask, what can I do to help you? And so please help me welcome in giving the key to the city to Mr. Ed Woods.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to acknowledge what the mayor talked about was the loss of my youngest son, Ryan. He was 43 years old. Ryan was, in fact, exactly what you hope to raise as a son. He was kind, educated, a good father, a good husband, and most importantly to him, he was a good golfer. That boy loved to golf. But unfortunately, he had a brain aneurysm on January 3rd. By the middle of the next week, we decided to disconnect his life support, that he would not survive without it, and donate all his organs. And being the show-off that he was, being the youngest son, we found recipients for all of his major organs. He had 5 different recipients. But I can tell you, if you ever have to stand in a hallway and watch your grandson walk his dad down that honor walk, that is a tough, tough way to go. So we've had a difficult month, and there's a lot of people in this room who have reached out, who have sent condolences, who have said a prayer, and we feel you. We are overwhelmed with the amount of people that love my son. And we cannot get back to everybody, but every time I get a chance, I want to make sure I thank as many of you as I can for all your kind words and all your strong prayers and all the good work that was done up at our local hospital to help save Ryan and to help take care of my family after it was clear that he wasn't going to survive. So thank you all for that. Now, when it comes to this award, now, Mayor Mahoney has talked to me about getting an award, but I've mentioned to him on numerous occasions that if you are in this for some kind of honor or recognition, then you're doing it for exactly all the wrong reasons. So getting an honor, this is nice, and I appreciate this, and the honor really goes to my family, Ryan and Chris, and the times that I've been away from home at meetings and got home late like I did last night. My wife, Jermaine, who is here with me tonight, she's the one that sits home by herself and watches that clock to make sure I'm back from whatever trip I have to take that day. Yesterday was a day trip to Alma, Michigan for a board meeting. So it does take away some time from your family, but it's worth it. Many of you know me that I go to Starbucks every morning, and I'm a pretty regular customer there. And one day I walked in and the manager said, "Ed, there's a woman right in the back there that's been waiting for you." This was last summer. She's been waiting for you for about 2 hours. She heard that you come in here every morning and she wants to talk to you. So I walked back there and asked her what she wanted. And she said, "Are you Ed Woods?" I said, "Yes." She broke out in tears. She was having problems with her daughter. She had a substance use disorder problem. And she asked me what I could do to help. Well, naturally, I am not a mental health professional. I am just a board member. We are not smart people on the boards. We just make sure the smart people get the things they need to do their job. So I'm smart enough to pull out my phone and call Mary Beth and say, "Mary Beth, we have a citizen here who has a problem with a loved one, and they need treatment, they need help, and they're not really understanding what's going on." We have a complicated system, we admit that. We are not perfect. So we turned this over to the professionals. Mary Beth took care of it. I'm not sure what the outcome was because of HIPAA, but I do know that that ability to track me down at Starbucks is the power of the public mental health system. the system that you all pay for. When Mayor Mahoney was a county commissioner, people would come to county commission meetings and say, I'm not getting services for my child. You could sit in the audience and watch those county commissioners texting Mary Beth, saying, hey, we have a citizen here. They have a problem. That's the power of the public mental health system. And they're trying to take it away every day, and that's the thing we fight for. I don't know how long I can do this work, and I don't know when I'm going to stop. But I can tell you right now that as long as I can, I'll work as hard as I can to protect the people that we serve, the mentally ill and those suffering from substance use disorders. I want to take a second and thank the Lifeway staff, our new CEO, Cassie, she's out there in the audience. If you guys have problems, you don't need to find me tonight. She's right there, and you can talk with her about it. She's very accessible. And I also want to take a second to thank the police department. So one of the things you may have not noticed is that we don't have some of these problems that other communities have. We don't have people getting shot by the police when they're going through a mentally challenged situation, a crisis in their life. The police roll up on them, this person's having the worst day of their life. We've been working with them in training. This is way different than it was when I first got on the board. They didn't want any part of it. These new police officers that we have now, they embrace it. They don't want to harm anyone. They want to help us. And that is the kind of leadership we need in our town. And that's the kind of leadership we're getting from our police right now. So thank you all for continuing to take that training. We appreciate you doing it, and thank you all for this award. And again, thank you all for the kindness that you've showed my family. We appreciate it. God bless you all. Thank you.
So council, I will spare my thanks, my sentiments, my emotional talk for how much I appreciate each and every one of you for later on, because we still got work to do. The clock is still running. And thank you for standing up here with me today and for presenting these keys to the city and community. If you can just join me one last time in honoring every single one of the recipients of the key to the city. And the last voice you'll hear of the night is someone who it is truly a pleasure to work with. One of the most surprising moments that I had as mayor is after the first State of the City, when the city manager came up to speak. Most of what he said is, let's do it. And we've done all the things, and we continue to do all the things. And he answers the phone every time I call and say, hey, Jonathan, I was thinking about something, and tell me your thoughts, and if you think we can make this happen. And 95% of the time it's been, Mr. Mayor, we can figure that out. I know he treats everyone on council the exact same way. He empowers his staff, and I know that to be true because of the way they show up for our community. And so it is truly an honor and privilege to work next to you and with you, Mr. City Manager. And I now turn over the microphone to you for some closing words.
All right. Hey, thank you for that. We're about halfway through the program, so if you stay with me, we'll get out of here about midnight 30. If I don't make any sense while I'm giving my speech, it's because of two reasons. One, city managers rarely make any sense, and two, I'm going to try to edit this down on the fly. Try to get us out of here. So, I'm proud to be here tonight and close out this year's State of the City address. You've heard from many folks tonight who love and appreciate the city and the Jackson community at large. But before we go tonight, I want to highlight some of the things I heard while they were speaking and some of the things I heard while Tashawn was speaking and the mayor was speaking. I want to talk about partnership and collaboration. And I want to do that through the lens of some of the highlights we had in 2025 that work to break down political borders and put the residents first through creative collaboration. And it's that collaboration with others that brings us together, and it reminds us that we are all more than emotional hot takes, 3 minutes of bad stand-up comedy, and general outrage over the minor inconveniences in life. But I'm not here to talk about downtown parking. Collaboration reminds us that there are more of us working toward a greater future than the noise created by those in our community who are seemingly anti-everything. Collaboration and working together to solve the problems that exist in every community will be the way we move forward. The issues that exist now and those that will challenge us in the future do not respect geographic boundaries. They are not unique to anyone. They're not unique to any of us in local government, for that matter. And because of that, we must think about and approach those challenges differently. I am proud of the work City Council and City staff did in 2025 regarding collaboration and relationship building. And I think it's fitting that I use the word building because the first example I'd like to highlight about the city collaboration has to do with building permits. In May of 2025, the City of Jackson and Leone Township entered into an agreement for the city to provide building inspection services in the township. That's crazy. We're doing work and we're like helping each other. One government helping another government. I'll let you guys think when the last time you heard about that happening was. This was not for rentals, as people in our community like to talk about. It was simply for administering and enforcing Michigan building codes in Leone Township. We're doing about upwards of 30 inspections a month with no additional staff. And we can do this because of the professionalism of our staff and the licenses that they hold. But most importantly, though, the leaders in both the city and Leone Township dropped their egos. They put the work for the residents first and made a courageous choice. That doesn't happen all the time in politics. And this burgeoning relationship and partnership has others in the community talking about other ideas for service delivery to the residents and how we can partner together. Shared services, in my mind, sends a powerful message to the residents that their leaders are focused on outcomes, not turf, but rather on solutions and not silos. And that's why the city chose to partner with Accelerate Jackson for economic development services. What would be so good about staffing our own economic development department that partnering wouldn't make sense? The answer is nothing. In order for the city to realize its economic development goals, we must seek to understand what is going on around us. And we must understand what our unique attributes are and how we can add to that economic ecosystem. The partnership with Accelerate Jackson accepts that the city is part of a greater ecosystem, and we can maintain all of the influence and control we desire for ourselves when partnering with others. We're not giving anything up, we're adding to it. Lastly, I'd like to mention something that the mayor spoke about tonight. It's an exciting new partnership between the city and Summit Township. Both entities and governing bodies took full measure of the increasing cost to provide fire protection in both places and took the bold yet necessary step to seriously address the matter in the form of a shared services resolution. Now, this agreement formally supports collaboration between the Jackson and Summit Fire Departments. It enables joint operations and data collection so we can evaluate response times, staffing, and cost efficiencies. As the mayor pointed out, does it matter what the letters on the side of the red truck that comes when you need it? Do those matter if it says Summit, Jackson, Blackman, Napoleon? Does it matter? It doesn't matter. You just need them to show up. And that's what we're trying to do. We're also using this resolution to establish a framework for a joint fire board to provide oversight and ensure equal representation for both communities. We're positioning both departments for measurable improvements in service delivery while maintaining local identity and control. All of the partnerships that I mentioned tonight have more than one objective, and they're hard to talk about. Sorry to the media in the room, but they don't make for great media clips because they're layered, they're nuanced, and it's a very big undertaking. And I say that because not every function needs to be fully consolidated or partnered. Some arrangements begin with shared purchasing, joint training, or mutual aid, and they evolve over time. And it's those incremental steps that lead to lasting success. At a time when public trust in institutions is under strain, collaboration demonstrates competence, humility, and responsibility. It shows that we are willing to look beyond boundaries in order to deliver results. It's the willingness to look beyond all boundaries that sets this city council apart from others. Whether those are the boundaries we build artificially, like political and geographic boundaries, or they're the type of boundaries that limit our creativity and thinking. Maybe they're the ugly and reductive boundary which we set on our own, one of being rooted in entrenched solutions that may or may not work, or they work just enough to not pay attention to. Simply put, we accept a lesser quality solution alone when one could be greater by working together. I'd like to point out there's one person among us tonight. He spoke a little bit, and his family thinks maybe he spoke a long time, but it's his show, and we get to honor him tonight, and he gets that respect. But he dared to challenge outdated perceptions, outmoded ways, and work to bring everyone together to seek new pathways forward. In that way, Mayor Daniel Mahoney used, and he reminded us tonight, we're running through the finish line, continues to use his position as mayor to seek new ideas, fresh perspectives, and creative solutions to turn what is in front of us as leaders in the community into workable solutions. You never know what the future holds, and this is his last State of the City currently scheduled. So I want to take a moment to recognize you and your leadership over the past 5 years or so. Thank you very much. You don't get much more humble than Daniel Mahoney. It's been awesome, sir. It's been awesome. In closing tonight, here we go. Together, through thoughtful and well-designed shared services, we can build systems that are more efficient, more resilient, and more worthy of the public trust. We are better together. We are one Jackson. Thank you for attending tonight, and have a great evening.